In a new project, set project settings to 2880 by 1080 with a pleasing background color. This project settings will enable the side-by-side viewing of two gradient blended media where the media themselves are each 1920 by 1080. With the playhead at t=0, use the P key to stick a placeholder at t=0. With the placeholder selected, go to its properties and change its width to 1920 by 1080. With the placeholder selected, set its X position to -480. That will place the placeholder on the left side of the canvas. Next, we're going to navigate to the Camtasia 2023 library. We're going to look for dynamic fills, and we're going to select dynamic fill number 22. With that selected, put it on the timeline, track 2 at t=0. With the dynamic fill asset selected, in its properties, set its width to 960, height at 1080. Make sure that its position is at 0x and 0y. And if I also select the first placeholder, you'll see that the dynamic fill asset now covers the right half of the first placeholder. With the dynamic fill selected, go to Visual Effects and select Media Mat as the function. Right-click, add it to the dynamic fill asset. I'm going to drag it out till it's the same duration as the placeholder. Then with the dynamic fill selected, we're going to go over to its properties. And we're going to set the first color, color 1, to black, color 2 to white, color 3 to black, color 4 to white. Midpoint for X and Y, set them both at 50%. Set speed to 0. Next, we're going to scroll down. At the Media Mat function, change the mode to Luminosity Invert. You can now see in the canvas that we're bleeding from the left to the right, starting at the midpoint of the first placeholder. Now, select just the placeholder on track 1, copy it to your clipboard, and paste it at t=0 on track 3. With it selected, set its position in properties to 480, tab key. That places it on the right edge of the canvas. And if I also select the first dynamic fill, you can see that that now covers the left half of the second placeholder. Next, select just dynamic fill on track 2. Copy it to your clipboard and paste it on track 4. Go to its properties, and in this case, we're going to change the rotation value from 0% to 180, tab key. So I've actually flipped it. So now you can see that we're in the canvas bleeding our two placeholders from the left to the center, back to the right. I'll deselect, and that completes the build out of a template to create gradient blended media using a dynamic fill asset. At this point, you want to preserve this by saving it as a template project and or putting it in your library as an asset. To test this, I'm going to import a couple of media files. And we have a B17 and a B25. And we'll select the first placeholder on track 1. Right-click the B17 ripple replace anyone on the timeline, select placeholder number 2, select the B25 asset, ripple replace again, and now I have gradient blended these two pieces of media. Now, if I scrub the project, you can see that my gradient blended asset using dynamic fill is working correctly.